feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. I feel...
Hello beautiful people, welcome to Altcoin Daily with Bitcoin Gorilla. Well, I'm back today to talk to you about an altcoin called Alien World, or you can call it TLM. If you don't know what Alien World, this is a decentralized non-fungible token, that is NFT. It is also a metaverse where players compete for scarce resources, right, called Trillion. Now this is like a simulated economy centered around planetary worlds. Due to this, Alien Worlds has also a decentralized finance. So this particular game has NFT, metaverse, and DeFi all in one. And the beautiful thing about it is that as players advance by staking TLM and using the TLM to vote in the planet decentralized autonomous organizations. Now, the beautiful thing about this is the fact that it is an NFT, so they collect NFTs while playing this game, and the game itself is built in a metaverse. And the beautiful thing is the DeFi aspect, where you can stake the TLM you collected, that is the NFT, the Trillium, and then you're going to earn rewards, and you even have the chances of voting or becoming a leader in the entire game. This is beautiful. Unlike every other game out there, this makes TLM quite different, but this particular token is still so underrated. As you can see, price opened in the exchanges around April, and around April went all the way to the price of $6, but this moment I'm talking to you, it has sold off all the way to 0.1, because that is the range it is currently trading at. So I'm back today so that we can talk about the price. We're going to break down this price on multiple time frames. We're going to be looking at the monthly chart, the daily chart, the weekly chart, even the 4 hours chart. So we're going to start the analysis from the monthly chart using simple candlesticks. We're going to look at the candlesticks we're seeing on the monthly chart, because of course this chart has no much data, so we can make sense of the few candles that are on the monthly chart. Then we're going to use simple price action strategy called the Bitcoin Gorilla box. I developed it myself, I created it myself, and I'm going to be using it to analyzing this. There's no indicator, it's going to be simple price action. I do not use indicator, so this is going to be quite very understandable even if you're a beginner. So stick by, because I'll be breaking down the chart, including the candlesticks, explaining to you even things that you've not heard before. So this analysis is going to be beginners friendly. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. If you end up liking this analysis, don't forget, share, subscribe, and like. So let's start by first of all looking at the market statistics of TLM. So we're going to look at coin market cap, and the price currently is trading at 0.1007, of which it has lost about 1.29% in the last 24 hours. When we talk about statistics, let's talk about the circulatory supply. The circulatory supply of this token is around 914.030370 million tokens is already in circulation. That's about 9% of the maximum supply, because the maximum supply is around 10 billion token. You might ask me, then what is the difference between a maximum supply and a circulatory supply Bitcoin Gorilla? Well, if you're new to trading, the maximum supply of any token is the amount of coin that can ever exist on that token. And when you're talking about the circulatory supply, it's also the current amount of token that is in the public hands. So the current total supply that can ever be created or ever be supplied to the market in the whole lifespan of this token is about 10 billion TLMs, and currently about 9% of that token, that maximum supply, is already in the market, circulating in the hands of people. Now there's something they call the total supply. The total supply is the amount of coin that is already created minus anyone that has been burnt, and in that situation, TLM, the current total supply is around 5.189345 let me call that again, 5.189345239 billion tokens. So approximately 5 billion tokens, right? So good. So that's the figure, that's the statistics. But if you want to know more about it, please go visit CoinMarketCap and you're going to have an in-depth view of this. This is just a brief, just to give us an highlight of what has been created, what has been burnt, and what are we dealing with, so that we know if this coin is good for investing or you should just run, right? I don't know. We're going to find out, because this token has been in a sideways for over 6 months now, since April 2001 all the way to April. That's 1 year on a sideways market, and the price has not been able to move above $1, and it has not been able to as well break below what 0. What, hold on, let's see, below 0.08. It has not been able to break below 0.08. It has not been able to move above what, 0.86 range. Let's say approximately $1, right? That is quite a very interesting data, because this only shows a sign of equilibrium in the market. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the chart. No much further talks, right? So I'm drawing this chart on the weekly chart. So I'm going to go ahead. There's no much data, there's no much drawing to do. I've just gotten the skeleton, which is the horizontal support and resistance. So what I'm doing now is to bring in the box to help me make sense of what is going on in the market. So I need to zoom in to get, so the box helps me deal with sideways market and have a better view of what direction chances are high of breaking. So I'm going to go ahead and finish drawing the box. If you want to learn more about this box, don't forget you can come and actually trade live with me. I trade Bitcoin futures, I trade crypto futures on Binance, and be warned, I'm a high leverage trader, very high leverage trader. But just be warned again that I have laws, trading laws, that my family trade with me. So I have a family that I'm building. We are called Makaveli traders. It's not like every other family out there. We don't just, this is not like it's a crypto family that has an academy. So when you come into the family, you're going to get an intensive 6 weeks training to prepare you to be able to trade along with everybody in the house. I don't know how you want to hear it, but I'm a 125x trader. I am the highest leverage trader. I know you can call that suicide, but that's your own perspective, because I have my rules and regulations that I use to trade this market. And thanks to this Bitcoin Gorilla box, I'm able to minimize my loss and be able to actually enjoy the fact that I don't fall victim so much about FOMO and some certain things. So when you come into the market, Makaveli traders, we're going to train you on how to FOMO no more, how to understand that price has a life cycle, and you have to understand some certain things in trading to understand that trading is 80% waiting, 10% buying, 10% selling. Because with this, you're going to be able to time your entering. It's about the right entering and exiting at the right time. It's not about every day coming to trade. If you trade every day, you're going to end up giving the whole money to the market, because this market is not tradable every day. And I'm going to talk to you about that. So this is a chart. I've drawn the chart, but obviously I can see there's no much data to work with. So what I'm going to do is go to the daily chart to have a little bit overview to be able to draw the next box. So the box I'm trying to draw now is the inner box, right? I can see that there are some certain things that has been going on in the market. If you're interested in joining Makaveli traders, don't forget that access is only open 3 times a year. Currently it's closed, but access is going to open by next month, May 3rd. That's when access is going to open. It's limited access and it will be closing the same month. So don't forget, it's going to close the same month. So if you're interested, you don't want to miss the opportunity, because once I train you for 6 weeks, you get to trade with me daily. I wake up, I share my trade days that the entries are good to do it, and I will give you warnings ahead of time. You're going to know what is going to play out even before it plays out. You know the days to trade and the days not to trade. So I don't give signals. I am just building a family of independent traders who can grow alongside with me, because I know even though I research, I do a lot of work every day. Two heads are better than one, especially when we have the same goal of building and growing together. Then we can make better decisions. And the good thing is I get to be your mentor. If you're new into trading, I will stand as a mentor to you throughout your training days. So you don't have a problem, you always come to me when you have a problem, and I'll be there to help you get through it. So this is the drawing, this is the chart that I've finished drawing. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and start the analysis on the weekly chart, on the monthly chart. So this is the monthly chart. But to start this analysis, I would like to overview of what is going on in this, just based on simple candlesticks. So I'm going to off all of this. Alright, so let's look at the candlesticks and make sense of what is going on here. So obviously we see that this candle right here, is the beginning of our problems, right? So this candle made it a bit confusing for traders to know if are we on a support or are we on a resistance. Why? The reason is because there's no previous data that you're looking at. So let's say price was going up, right? Before you saw this candle, you might say, oh, this is a shooting star, so it's a bearish candle. But remember, one candlestick is not enough to give you a proof that something is going to change in the market. Remember that. One candlestick's pattern are very easily broken or completely destroyed by other patterns, right? So we can't say if this is a resistance. If the price was going up, then it was a resistance. But again, we can't say it's a support, because if the price is going down, before we had this candle, then we'll be calling this candle what? Inverted hammer on a support. But right now, this candle is a candle that we can find on both support and resistance. Now the color of this candle doesn't matter, whether it's red, whether it's green, it doesn't matter. But this situation is green, but it still doesn't matter. What will help us make sense of is what happened after the candle is formed, since we don't have any previous data. So we will depend on what happened after the candle formed on the monthly chart. But first of all, let me explain to you, if you don't know how this candle formed. The bulls opened the market here, the buyers. We are the one who started the opening of this coin, right? They opened this coin and they pumped all the way to around $6 range. But magically, the sellers came. Maybe some people felt they've had enough profit and they need to take their profit off the market, and they started selling TLM. And the sell-off continued that same month, and until what? The sell-off stopped here, and that is where the month closed. So the bulls started the move, but the bears reacted, and the reaction of the bears is quite a very strong one, and that's why we have this week. So this week is a sign of sell-off. Now the next candle, as a result of the sell-off we had, because they are the one that pushed down to close here, assuming they push below the open, it will have turned to a bear candle, but they made sure they close above the open, giving it a green candle. But the beautiful thing now, let's go dive deeper, because now if this is a resistance, why do I call it a resistance? Because of the sell-off, right? If it is a resistance, then the next candle should prove us right by dumping more. If it's a support, then the next candle will prove us more. The next 2 candles to 3 candles should show us why the support below this candle should not be broken, right? So let's go further and understand what happened. So if I zoom in, here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is very simple. The next candle was not the sell-off did come, right? The sell-off did come, but unfortunately they could not break below the candle. That's a sign of support. That's a sign of buyers reacting. You can see their reaction on the wick below, right? You can see the buyers reacted, right? So somehow these buyers are not sleeping. So this makes us to start considering this point as a sort of support. So what happened is this. So let me pick a horizontal line and show you something. So if I pick the horizontal line and I place it here, so what we see here is a simple what we see here is that there was a support. I'm going to zoom in and make sure that it's sitting on the support. It's not. So here's the support. So that's the support. That's where the candle started the move up. Remember I said the bulls were the ones who opened this candle. So that's where it started. So we find a very strange thing when I zoom in. You find out that the seller sold off but could not go below that candle. That's a sign of bulls. They couldn't break below it. So let's start looking at it as a support. So somehow this looks like where bulls are hidden. So there is a support in this range. So we are going to start treating it as a support, but not yet concluded. Why? Because again, the same candle could not break above it. If you break above it, we can easily say it's a bull candle, right? But it didn't break above this candle, leaving it inside this candle, meaning this previous candle completely covers the next candle, which is this red candle. So this red candle is now what we call the inside bar. Now an inside bar can break on two sides, is a sign of indecision, a sign of sideways, a sign that market went like this. This is what this red candle means. It means that the market actually went up and then returned. That's a sign of sideways market on a lower time frame. We are on a monthly chart. So with that being said, the next candle is supposed to prove something. So if the next candle, if it's to prove that the sellers are in control, then it's going to break below this green candle, right? That's below this white line. If it's to prove that the sellers are in control, they will break below the white line. If the buyers are in control, they will break what? Above this point. I don't know if you understand. But unfortunately, something happened. They did break below it because we see that they cleared this point. They did break below the line, but they failed. They lost their armor. They completely, it's like attacking another territory, underrating them from afar because you were able to push them back to their home. Or maybe you're terrorizing them, but you are underrating them, not knowing the kind of amenities and powers they have in store, right? That's exactly what happened to the BS, because instantly there was a reaction. Now let me tell you why they had that reaction. It's a result of the fact that on the monthly chart, the traders who trade the monthly chart are long-term investors that when they enter on a monthly chart, they are hoping to exit in the next 2 years, 1 year minimum, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years. Investors like Warren Buffett don't go on 4 hours time frame to look at the chart. Investors like Warren Buffett don't go to, in fact, he is focusing on weekly, monthly, minimum, daily. They are always focusing on the higher time frame. I'm not saying Warren Buffett is interested in crypto, because obviously that man does not like crypto, but that's fine. It's for our generation, not for their generation. But we have to learn from their trading style. So if you want to ride the right trend, do not forget where the real money is. The real capital lies with the monthly traders. The lower time frame are mostly retail traders, and these retail traders, we don't have much capital, right? These people have enough capital, and the beautiful thing about them is how they take their position entries, their position sizing. Let's say, for example, if when price was here, they wish to buy $100 billion worth of TLM, right? These investors, these long-term investors, these market makers, these hedge funds, because they're the one operating on this time frame, what they do is this: they don't buy all at once. They pyramid their entry. So what do I mean by pyramiding? It means they probably buy 30% on the first entry and see how the market goes. They buy 30%, and let's see how TLM goes. And TLM was able to make it all the way to $6. they didn't exit the market and the market returned. Let's say they exited some whatever, let's just say whatever happened, but somehow let's say they entered here but market didn't go far, it got here and it returned, and then it's tried to threaten their position of entry. What they do is they go ahead and do what I call initiative buying, right? They go ahead and bombard yet another buy just a little bit below the last time price pierced through it, right? They could probably buy another probably 15%, making them a total of 45%. You can see they didn't just go ahead and buy everything more. No, they don't do that. But because they have enough capital, their capital is capable of moving the market. So imagine if 20 of them make this kind of move, 30 of them make this kind of move. And remember, they are watching the monthly support. They are watching the monthly resistance. They don't care what you're seeing on the 4 hours chart. So no matter how bullish the 4 hours chart sings, if the monthly chart is saying I have a resistance just ahead of you, it's like I don't need to shout. The chart that looks so bullish will instantly turn bearish in just the same day. That's what the effect of the monthly chart can do. So it's good we don't ignore it. That's why I like doing multiple time frame. But monthly chart do take 3 months, 6 months, 1 year to play out. It takes a long time to play out, right? Depending on how you are looking at it. But this chart, I'm giving it 3 months, at maximum 6 months. But TLM for investors, long-term investors, you might want to come and rewatch this video because it's going to benefit you. You don't have to have this kind of money to invest long-term into TLM. All you need to do is buy more when you find the opportunity and stake your coin. And this coin is metaverse, NFT, DeFi, all in one. Future is bright for these 3 industry in the world, the entire blockchain community, right? Something is cooking because this coin is still very undulated. So here's what happened. The next candle broke below it, right? Like I said, most of these whales will try to initiate a buy to protect their position, to make sure that they bring the price back up. This is what happened. We can see that reaction. This is a complete 2-bar reversal, a bullish engulfing, changing the trend. And this is a strong reversal, right? At least, even if we don't go too far, we're going to see a little bounce from the current place where they are trying to break. And of course, they did that same thing because the next candle, here's what even gets interesting, is I started seeing a pattern since this occurred. First, they focused on bringing them above the white line, right? They brought them above the white line, but then the sell-off did not finish. Even though these buyers are entering the market with more capital because it's in a good buy zone, the sell-off of those who bought earlier, who now are having anxiety, fear, and all of that, are using every little opportunity they see a bounce to sell. Because they want to exit, they're tired of waiting for some people, they don't understand that trading, when it comes to trading, anything trading, stock market, bond market, forex, crypto, even if it's rice market, whatever market it is, as long as it's dealing with these 2 sellers, right, and buyers, then price will go through 4 life cycles. And I'm going to explain this because whatever I'm going to say next is going to make more sense if you understand why this is going on. If you don't understand, you'll get frustrated and you give up easily. It's called consolidation or a sideways market. If you are new to trading, my analysis are always very, very detailed. So I'm going to explain so that you make sense of the market and decide yourself. I'm not going to make a decision for you. I don't give signals. I don't tell you what to do. You decide yourself. So price goes through 4 life cycles. The first one is called accumulation. It goes like this. What happens is a situation whereby though there are sellers in the market, buyers are equal in the market. So there's this equilibrium between these 2 parties whereby equal amount of buyers who put orders instantly, equal amount of sellers come within that time to also come and take the order, leading them to return back where to the price is. So let's take, for example, you have 20 million buyers, $20 million worth of buy orders. Instantly, you also have 20 million worth of sell order. Come and clear this, returning price back to where it started from. For price to move up, the buyers at some point has to overpower the sellers, which means for breakout to occur, this leads us to stage 1, say stage 2. So this accumulation stage is called the stage 1 life cycle of price. Stage 1, right? We have stage 1. Stage 1. And as price moves, as this occur at some point, let's say buyers did come in and more capital flooded into the market, more people took interest in the market, price is going to move higher, leading to what is called breakout. So this is where the breakout takes place, right? So as the breakout takes place, it enters the next stage of price life cycle called what? Stage 2. And in this stage, this market moves like this, right? There will always be pullback because people will always feel that it has gone to my extent, let me take profit. It has hit my target, let me take profit. But that does not stop the price from keep moving up. Because you take profit doesn't mean the price is going to dump, because your sell-off is not enough to counter all the buy powers coming into the market. So there's strong buy power and price will keep going. Where is price going to? Price is seeking for sellers until it finds a place where it has enough sellers to overpower this buy power that is coming into the market. This is why things keeps getting expensive. The coin keeps going up, right? So as the coin keeps going up, it gets to this point where it means equal sellers. So enough sellers are here, and then this stage where it was going up is called a bull trend. Some call it a markup. You can also call it advancing stage, right? So that's stage 2. Stage 2, right? So as it goes on stage 2, it gets to a point where it meets enough sellers. So you're going to see market having deeper pullbacks. So while it was in stage 2, the pullbacks might just be a mini slight pullback, and it's going slight pullback, just a pullback. But when it gets to a stage, it's now encountering more sell orders. Probably you have 20 buy orders, 20 million buy orders. You're going to have 20.1 sell orders, and the price will dump because now there are more sellers. And then before you know it, price managed to again get more buyers, and again it gets the same amount of sellers, dump right back. Before you know it, they will be in that equilibrium stage. This is called another equilibrium. This stage this time around is the stage 3, right? This is called what? The distribution stage, right? So I don't need to write that. Just know it's called this distribution stage on the stage 3. Now again, they are in equilibrium. More sellers are in, more people are feeling they should take more profit, and those who are shorting are shorting, and all of this at some point, let's say the sellers did overcome the buyers. The sellers has more power than the buyers. More money is leaving the market than more money is entering the market. Price is going to go lower. What is price going lower for? It will break this point and it will enter. This is stage 3, like I said. It will break stage 3 and enter stage 4, known as the downtrend or the bear trend or the markdown or the declining. Whatever name you choose is the same thing, and price goes down. Again, like it did when it was going up, there will be pullbacks, right? There will be pull-ups more. It will go down, it will pull up, it will go down, it will pull up until it gets down to a point where it is looking for buyers, people to be interested in the coin. Maybe if I go lower, when it's cheaper, more people will take interest in TLM, more people will take interest in this coin, more people will want to buy more, right? That is why price will keep going lower. But again, what causes it to go lower faster is as it's going lower, more people who bought not far from their entry, who price is coming closer to their entry, are getting scared and they are forced to sell. Remember, when they are forced to sell, it's increasing the sell pressure, making the price to even go lower faster. Now, price will get to a range where buyers will believe that, oh, I think Bitcoin is on a support. I think Bitcoin is on a good buy. I think this price is fair enough. Now, buyers will begin to come in again and start buying. What are they doing? They are taking the sell orders. They are taking the sell orders. They are until they fill all the sell orders, then they will start moving. What? Another breakout. This taking the sell order is back to what? Stage 1. It's back to stage 1. So it is a cycle. Price repeats this cycle. I'm going to show you on a lower time frame, and you can go to any chart. You're going to see price passing through this cycle, wonderful cycles. Now, if you understand this, then you should understand why the saying says that trading is 80% waiting, 10% buying, and 10% selling. The reason is very simple. This entire situation is going to take the 40% right? This entire percent is going to take 40% of your time. This entire percent is just 10% of your time and 10% of your time. So the 80% waiting is from these two guys, stage 1 and stage 3. Price stays so long in this time that you do not know how long it will take price to stay in that stage. You can see we just talked about TLM, and it has been one of these two stages for the past 1 year. A coin can take 3 years. Bitcoin was on it for 3 years, since 2017 and to all the way to the breakout in 2020. It's a sideways market, right? It keeps going back and forth most of those range. So this is the reason why whatever I'm going to explain in this chart is going to make sense to you, because TLM is in that stage of consolidation, which is very important you try to understand, so that if you are buying, you are already in TLM, you have more rest of mind and be calm and be more patient so that you can reap your reward. And if you are yet to buy TLM, then maybe we talk and you find what support is the best support for you to actually take advantage, because TLM is a promising token. So now that we understand, we find out that this sideways, a good example is this is a bullish 2-bar reversal, right? This is a bullish 2-bar reversal, but unfortunately just after the bullish 2-bar reversal, what am I seeing? I'm seeing a bearish 3-bar reversal. When I combine this three candle is bearish 3-bar reversal. So the bulls came in, the bears countered them. After that, if I combine these two candle, is a bullish candlestick, right? 2-bar reversal, beautiful. But then did we go up? Yes, we went up, but then again the bears strike, because this is what a bearish engulfing. Oh my god, I'm just tired of the back and forth, but that is exactly what consolidation looks like. I know that is what you say to yourself. Oh my god, I'm tired of this market, tired of this consolidation, tired of this. But you don't understand that you enter the market probably on the wrong time, right? Because personally, I avoid consolidation depending on the time frame I'm trading. But if I'm trading a TLM on the monthly, I want to buy the best point, right? The best point. So this correctly right now, though this was a bearish engulfing, there was a confirmation with this bear candlesticks. It completely went red and it went bearish. But again, the sellers won't give up their support. Remember, they were protecting it here, they defended it here. I don't think they will give it easily on this third touch. In fact, they could even get a reaction. But we're going to know what is going to happen, because the candles on that support doesn't give us any bullish sign yet or any strong bearish sign. Though right now we have a doji and a hammer on the same support. Now, if you know what a doji is, it's a sign of indecision. There is no decision between buyers and sellers. Are we going up or are we going down? But somehow I would say these buyers are reacting. Why am I saying these buyers are reacting? I am saying these buyers are reacting because of course it has been going down, right? It's been dumping, it's been red, right? But this candle, the bulls at least made an attempt to defend. That's why they made sure they battle with the bears to get them confused. Should we run? Should we stay? Can they still push? Can they not still push? Are we on their support? Should we, the bears are confused and the bulls are making an attempt. So the confusion I see is more of in the bulls and the bears. So the bulls are making an attempt, but if they fail, they will run. So the question is, can they fail or will they succeed in holding this support one more time? That could change their fate in this whole situation. So what we see is we want this new candle, which has 18 days to closing. To the time I'm making this video, it has 18 days and 14 hours to closing. Is a new April candle. So April opened not good. April opened to the push down, but the closing of April will determine if we are going to see more pull up or not. So with this analysis on the candle, we know the candle right now is saying on the monthly we are on support. Chances of bounce is high, but don't get too comfortable, because also the chances of dump is also there as a result of the pressure that was going on. And again, sideways market don't break easily, accumulation don't break easily. It takes time for one party. Even when you see there's a little person, you find out that it's a fake out. They will end up turning their direction. So for us to make a better decision, I want us to go to the weekly chart and see if we can make sense of everything that has been going on in this chart. So let's go to the weekly chart. So I'm back to the weekly chart. I'm going to look at the weekly chart, then we're going to look at the monthly chart, then we're going to make sense and see what we can do about the chart. Just all right. So let's interpret this weekly chart, what is happening. So I have the Bitcoin Gorilla box. Now the box is beautiful in terms of consolidation. I suffered a lot in terms of consolidation. I've lost a lot of money trading consolidation. I had to learn my lesson, and it is my experience that helped me build this box. As you can see, the box, obviously the resistance area is very extended. You're going to ask me, are all these points resistance? Well, what you don't understand is resistance is like a Dunlop, right? Inside the Dunlop is easy to get into, but getting into the Dunlop, you have to tear the cloth that covers the Dunlop before you get into the Dunlop. Also, at the top of the Dunlop, there's a cloth that you need to tear to get out. This point is like a Dunlop. The fact that they fell easily is how they will move easily, but before they can move easily in this area, they have to get into the area because it's an extended area. But we're going to make more sense of it. So we're going to focus more on the current situation that is happening. So I'm going to focus more on making sense of this range, right? So I'm going to focus on making sense of what is going here so that we can have a better preview of what is happening. So first of all, we see that this market is on my support area. So this entire area is the support of that extended resistance area. So we have the big box and we have the second box. So this is the second box that is inside the big box. The second box is more like an assistance. If you are inside the box and you manage to get to the bottom of the box, before you can get to the top of the box again, you must get through this guy, right? This guy is going to be a challenge because each broken support and resistance is going to react, right? So when you, it's like, again, this Dunlop, this entire place is like a Dunlop. It can easily be broken. It can easily be act as a support depending on how you land on it, right? Depending on the pressure that lands on it. So the resistance that we're seeing that acted last was this particular resistance. This is the last resistance that really took off, right? So this my seller's line. We have 2 touches, and for a seller's line to be qualified, we need a minimum of 2 touches. So I'm starting to join below this resistance of the major big extended area. So right, so what we're seeing is that we have a missing touch, right? Are these bulls going to make their way to come and finish this? Well, let's look deeper and see how it's going to be, because we might talk briefly about it on weekly, then daily and 4 hours will help us make a better overview of how it is going to be for them. Why do I say a better overview of how it's going to be for them? There is a mini sideways market going on in 4 hours now, on this time frame, and I think we're going to have a better view of it. That doji and that hammer on support on the monthly, I think we're going to make more understanding of it on 4 hours or daily hours, right? Why? It's just 2 candles. We need more candles to make sense of what these 2 candles is saying. Remember, there are indecision candles, so we can't really just look at them and decide it's bullish or decide it's bearish. Stay open-minded and just don't let our mindset get the best of us here. Let's not stand on any side until we have proofs that that side is secure to be on. So neither the buyers or the sellers we are standing on right now. So I'm going to take the trend line and I'm going to place it right here. I'm placing it because this is where they are now. Yeah. So what I'm saying here, I need to do something. Sometimes you have to zoom in, and let's make sure we don't miss the right point, because getting the right will help us make a better decision, and getting the wrong one is going to help us lose more money. So let's get the right support and resistance. All right, I needed to adjust that. So we have a better support and resistance on the weekly. So what am I seeing? Here's what I'm saying. These chances, whenever price is within this range of the bigger support, there's always an attack that goes on, right? Like whenever price is within support, it always goes sideways on the support. That is the accumulation I'm talking about. So they are back on that monthly support, and they are at the tip of it. They have not entirely down. That's why I had to redraw the chart, because there is the first touch of their support when they started the pump on the monthly was here, before they had that defending of that support. So this entire range becomes our support, right? So this entire range becomes our support. So we have them sitting the same point where they sat in the previous span. And you can see what are they doing sideways. They are trying their best to make sure that they hold up this support. Now the threat is this. At worst case scenario, to make sure that the bulls are in power, at worst case scenario, they shouldn't go below this my box. So that's below 0.68, right? Sorry if I made mention of 0.8 at the 0.08 at the beginning. It's actually 0.68 was their last lowest low, right, on the entire life history. So they must not go below that last lowest low, because that last lowest low was a defending mechanism they used to keep price above their entry on the monthly. So I'm going to try to see if I can get a buy line. I need a minimum of 2 touches, right? So what we see here is we have 1 touch right here and yet another touch right there. Very beautiful. So what I'm seeing here is that, let that line be there, is that this bulls, there's no coincidence that the line, the trend line that I just drew now, and my box, I always like seeing my box tip or inside the support area coinciding with the trend line. So you can see the tip of where they are reacting is the tip of my box, and as well is the tip of the trend line. So what is expected is that they move back up, right? They find their way back up and get to 0.16, and there they're going to get a little pullback, and they will get as pullback as far as 0.1122, and that will give them more strength to what, make it up. So their goal is this seller's line, and again, no coincidence, just like we have a meeting point between the support of my box, the tip of the support of my box, and the support, we're also having a coincidence between the tip of my box and the resistance line. Remember, this, they have to get through this point to even enter the second box. Remember, the second box is a challenge. So they are trying to enter the second box. When they leave the top of the bottom box on the higher time frame where they are, excuse me. So when they leave the top of the box where they are and head to the top, the bottom of the top, let's just say the top of the previous broken box, the bottom of the previous broken box, which is now acting as a resistance, they will first of all struggle to get in, because it's a broken support range which is now acting as a resistance. Trust has been broken. You have to work harder to earn back the trust that you broke, right? The bulls need to work harder. So the bears will push them down. They will return, but they will make it above it. This is the bullish aspect I'm seeing. So pullback, you're going to see that pullback, right? You're going to see that pullback. So they will now break above it. But the beautiful thing is, this will now look like a sideways on the lower time frame. So we're going to see something like this. Like there's a sideways that they need to break out. So the breakout is going to take place somewhere around here, right? So when the breakout happen, they will head to like what? That range of 0.24 at maximum 0.26 range, right? They will get pulled back. Now they could break it out. Now they could attack this line and break it above it, right? Getting them to that 0.264 or so, but then they could get pulled back right down, and they'll go all the way down. The pullback is supposed to test this seller line, but I tell you something, they'll push them all the way down. They'll push them all the way down. Now they could stop them at 0.44, or I don't know if they could get to this point. I doubt. No, I think they have the chance of stopping them at 0.44, 0.5 range, because why? The previous bottom of the box will not let them get easily broken. You can see when they broke inside it, you can see how they get to this point. So they could move this way and then return. Their entire goal is this, my control line, because this is my control line. This is the control line. They are heading for it, right? This is how they're going to move. They'll pull back and then like this to that control line, which is 0.3 to 0.3738, 0.4 range, right? They will get to that. In fact, I didn't get that right. I need to do something. I see I need to adjust these lines. This analysis is still on weekly, and I drew this chart on weekly. I want it to be on, if we don't get the right line, by the time we're doing the analysis on the lower time frame, it will contradict our chart, right? So we need to get the right point to place our support and resistance, and this needs to be here, and see more reaction at that point. So that's our control line, 0.4. So their goal is to get to 0.4 at the end of the day. But like I said, it's not going to be a smooth walk. Why? Because you can see they are falling towards a smooth fall. So they're going to experience that move I told you, and like this, right? So when they get to that point, they will get a pullback yet again, right? They will get a pullback. When they get to that point, then we're going to get a pullback. Now their pullback this time around should try to hold 0.24 at maximum 0.4. After they experience that, they will get another move up. This time around, this point. So do you see that even though they are pulling back, they are going to still maintain the bullish market structure. They will pull back, consolidate, breakout, distribution, pull back, consolidate, break. That's how price moves, right? Literally, their goal is to get to break out this point, because this is where the entire consolidation is, right? This point is where the entire consolidation is. So their goal is to get outside the consolidation. So they will first head to that box of the consolidation, which is this point. In fact, I do see them heading to this point, to the point of 0.84 to 0.8. Let me leave it at 0.8. But first, they will get a strong reaction at 0.6 to 0.68, right? Which we move them down, right? They will get pullback. They will do like this, and then they will get to this point. Or they could even pull back further. In fact, they will pull back further. Let me not just say they could. They will pull back further, because my control line always gets its way. They will pull back further down and move like so. In the real run, on the weekly, what I'm saying is at the end of the day, they will still make it to 0.8 to 0.84. Now, this might take a while. This might take a long time, because the time frame I'm seeing in this chart is looking like October, September. This is going to take a while. But since this is higher time frame analysis, it's a brief overview of what is coming, because it's not going to take them an easy ride to get outside of this point. So let's see if we can still look at probably let's see if we can look at what we can see on so on the daily chart. Can we see what the daily chart is telling us? Now it makes more sense on the daily chart, because on the daily chart, this is the chart that we just drew. It's the same story from what I'm saying. The bulls, to prove themselves, they must not break below this point, right? They must not break below this point. So the consolidation, like I told you about, is going on, and this is where, let's zoom in so that I can have a brief overview of what is happening in that consolidation. So what we're seeing here is very quite easy to understand. We see this price is in a sideways. So way more beautiful. This price, we have to stand. You can see they are doing perfectly well, and so far so good. They have maintained the bull market structure, and to see the bull market structure they have maintained is the higher lows. So look at it, it's still higher than this low, right, on the daily. And then if we go to 4 hours, it will make even more sense. It will make more sense on the 4 hours. So you can see the 4 hours. We see something happened on the 4 hours, so this chart gets more interested on the 4 hours. So I'm going to try to make sense of everything that went on the 4 hours. So I see there was a seller line that started here but was broken, right? So we see a seller line, 1, 2. In fact, I need to adjust that line. It should go a little bit down. Yes. So N3. So we had a breakout right here. But before the breakout, what did we see? We saw a consolidation. So just like we're on a downtrend, we are seeing a consolidation before a breakout. Now this consolidation, when you look closely at it, there was a change in trend, because there was lower high and we had a new high, which is higher high. So what we need the bulls to do is maintain and change the market structure, and definitely keep the market structure they are currently printing and leave it and let it not go below the current point. Why did I say so? If I pick the trend line, I can tell you, you can see they are sitting, and when we zoom in, you're going to have more closer look at the trend line we draw on the daily chart. So this is the trend line. You can see they've touched it here like twice and they are very close to it again. So what this means is, as long as the bull stays above 0.88, as long as they stay above 0.8, chances are high we're going up. They must stay above 0.88 for now at this point. So let's say there's a spring. What is a spring? When these monthly traders allow it to pierce a little bit of the support so that you can buy it cheaper and kick all those who are shorting and selling off, and then use their intelligence as they will sell off, and then the market will start running. That's the spring, where price intentionally break support only to pull back up. You would have exited the trade thinking the market was going down, only for market to reverse and instantly start speeding to the upside. That is example of what happened here. So if we look closely, you see that's exactly what happened right here, right? So we have this market broke the support, but then you can see the run and it never returned to it. So that could happen here. So I like staying open-minded in my support. That's why I treat it as an area. And as far as price is within this hold on, sorry about that. As far as price is within this range, is a support. So of course we're at the tip of the support, and the chances are high now is that we're going to get an upside from TLM. Now the only thing that will make TLM go back lower to retest this point is if Bitcoin keeps going down. I did an analysis on Bitcoin. If you want to know more, please, is an in-depth analysis like this one. You might want to go and watch it so that you stay updated, because Bitcoin is king, and somehow as Bitcoin moves, most of this altcoin react. So on the 4 hours chart, we see that if I'm to trade this chart and if I'm to draw my box strategy will tell me to target this point, right? But I don't think time will permit me to do that, but I would have loved to draw an in-depth view. But if I just draw a box around this point, if you want to learn how to trade this box, please access into Makaveli Traders will open by May 3rd of next month, and we'll be closing that same month. It's limited access. I don't take much students, so because I have to trade and I have to share my trade with these students, and at the same time come and make videos, and at the same time do other things. So you see, we have limited access, but it's a family where you get to trade daily with me. I train you, I become your personal mentor, and you grow with the family. And it's not just me. All the people I've been training for the past how many years right now will also be training with you. In fact, you're going to have them carry you under their wings to teach you what they know when I'm not in the house. So trust me, it's a family, and it's not like every other community out there. Because why? It comes with an academy aspect. So once you come in, you get intensive training for 6 months so that you understand how to actually be on your own. One thing about Makaveli Traders is, if you have been experiencing liquidation, I don't care what leverage you're using. If you have been experiencing liquidation, I have a strategy. I will tell you, you will say bye-bye to liquidations, and you will never think about liquidation. And I will trade with you daily to see you improve and see you grow. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. If you end up, if you have liked this strategy, don't forget that you can subscribe, click the notification bell so that you'll be informed when next I post. And if you have any coin you want me to analyze, just leave it in the comment section and I will analyze it. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla, and I say happy trading.